Hi viewer, welcome to our another video. In this video we will discuss about Top 25 ASP.NET Web API Interview Questions and Answers. We will be uploading videos on technology and career guidance on our channel regularly, to encourage us to do more videos like this. Please subscribe to our channel if you are watching our channel for the first time. Don't forget to like this video if you like our video. Please share with your friends. Question. What is Web API? What is the purpose of Web API? ASP.NET Web API is a framework for building HTTP services that can be consumed by a broad range of clients including browser, mobiles and tablets. It is very similar to ASP.NET MVC since it contains the MVC features such as routing, controllers, action results, filter, model binders, I/O container or dependency injection. But it is not a part of the MVC framework. It is a part of the core ASP.NET platform and can be used with MVC and other types of web applications like ASP.NET Web Forms. It can also be used as a standalone web services application. ASP.NET Web API features. 1. It supports convention-based CRUD actions since it works with HTTP verbs get, post, put and delete. 2. Responses have an accept header and HTTP status code. 3. Responses are formatted by Web API's media type formatter into JSON, XML or whatever format you want to add as a media type formatter. 4. It may accepts and generates the content which may not be object-oriented like images, PDF files etc. 5. It has automatic support for OData. Hence by placing the new, queryable, attribute on a controller method that returns a queryable, clients can use the method for OData query composition. 6. It can be hosted within the application or on IIS. 7. It also supports the MVC features such as routing, controllers, action results, filter, model binders, IOC container or dependency injection that makes it more simple and robust. Next question. What are Web API advantages over WCF in web services? The following points help you to choose between WCF and Web API. 1. Choose WCF when you want to create a service that should support special scenarios such as one-way messaging, message queues, duplex communication etc. 2. Choose WCF when you want to create a service that can use fast transport channels when available, such as TCP, named pipes, or maybe even UDP, in WCF 4.5, and you also want to support HTTP when all other transport channels are unavailable. 3. Choose Web API when you want to create resource-oriented services over HTTP that can use the full features of HTTP, like URIs, request, response headers, caching, versioning, various content formats. 4. Choose Web API when you want to expose your service to a broad range of clients including browser, mobiles, iPhone and tablets. Next question. What is REST and RESTful? REST stands for Representational State Transfer. This is a protocol for exchanging data over a distributed environment. REST is an architectural style which treats each service as a resource and access data by HTTP protocol methods like GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE. REST-style architectures consist of clients and servers. Clients initiate requests to servers who process these requests and return responses based on these requests. These requests and responses are built around the transfer of representations of these resources. Next question. Explain REST principle. REST is a set of principles that define how web standards, such as HTTP and URIs, are supposed to be used. There are 5 important REST principles as given below. Addressable resources. Each resource should be identified by a URI, unique identifier. Simple and uniform interfaces. REST is based on HTTP protocol, so use HTTP GET, POST, PUT and DELETE method to perform actions. This make REST simple and uniform. Representation-oriented representation of resources are exchanged. GET is used to return a representation and PUT, POST passes representation to the server so that underlying resources may change. Representation may be in many formats like XML, JSON etc. Communicate stateless. An application may have state but there is no client session data stored on the server. Any session-specific data should be held and maintained by the client and transferred to the server where each request is needed. Cacheable, clients should be able to cache the responses for further use. Next question, is it possible to use WCF as RESTful services? Yes, RESTful service follows the REST, representational state transfer, architectural style. WCF service will allow you to make calls and exchange the data using SOAP protocol over different protocols, HTTP, TCP, MSMQ etc., and it uses the complex mechanism like SOAP for communication. The REST service is simple to use. It uses the HTTP protocol for all operations, it's lightweight and faster, it uses THE, JSON and .xml formats. Next question, what are HTTP verbs or HTTP methods? HTTP defines a set of request methods to indicate the desired action to be performed for a given resource. Although they can also be nouns, these request methods are sometimes referred to as HTTP verbs. Each of them implements a different semantic, but some common features are shared by a group of them, e.g. a request method can be safe, idempotent, or cacheable. Get. The get method requests a representation of the specified resource. Requests using get should only retrieve data. Head. The head method asks for a response identical to a get request, but without the response body. Post. The post method submits an entity to the specified resource, often causing a change in state or side effects on the server. Put. The put method replaces all current representations of the target resource with the request payload. Delete. The delete method deletes the specified resource. Connect. The connect method establishes a tunnel to the server identified by the target resource. Options. The options method describes the communication options for the target resource. Trace. The trace method performs a message loop back test along the path to the target resource. Patch. The patch method applies partial modifications to a resource. Next question, what is the difference between Web API and MVC controller? There are following differences between ASP.NET MVC and Web API. 1. ASP.NET MVC is used to create web applications that return both views and data, but ASP.NET Web API is used to create full-blown HTTP services with easy and simple way that returns only data, not view. 2. Web API helps to build RESTful services over the .NET framework and it also support content negotiation. It's about deciding the best response format data that could be acceptable by the client. It could be JSON, XML, Atom or other formatted data, self-hosting which are not in MVC. 3. Web API also takes care of returning data in particular format like JSON, XML or any other based upon the accept header in the request, and you don't worry about that. MVC only return data in JSON format using JSON result. 4. In Web API the requests are mapped to the actions based on HTTP verbs, but in MVC it is mapped to actions name. 5. ASP.NET Web API is new framework and part of the core ASP.NET framework. The model binding, filters, routing and others MVC features exist in Web API are different from MVC and exists in the new system, Web, HTTP assembly. In MVC, these features exist within System, Web, MVC. Hence Web API can also be used with ASP.NET and as a standalone service layer. 6. You can mix Web API and MVC controller in a single project to handle advanced AJAX requests which may return data in JSON, XML or any others format and building a full-blown HTTP service. Typically, this will be called Web API self-hosting. 7. When you have mixed MVC and Web API controller and you want to implement the authorization, then you have to create two filters, one for MVC and another for Web API since both are different. 8. Moreover, Web API is lightweight architecture and except the web application it can also be used with smartphone apps. Next question, what is basic authentication in Web API? Basic HTTP authentication. In basic HTTP authentication, the client passes their username and password in the HTTP request header. Typically, using this technique we encrypt user credentials string into base64 encoded string and decrypt this base64 encoded string into plain text. You can also use another encryption and decryption technique. Custom principle. Since Web API is built on the top of ASP.NET Framework, hence it can use ASP.NET Framework features like ASP.NET Membership and Provider. ASP.NET provides a principal and identity interfaces to represent the identity and role for a user. For ASP.NET Web API, you can also create a custom solution by evaluating the principal and identity interfaces which are bound to the HTTP context as well as the current thread. Next question: what is API key authentication in Web API? Note that API key authentication does not identify or authenticate the user. Rather, API key authentication uses API keys to authenticate the applications or services that access your APIs. An API key is a token or unique identifier that is passed to an API via request header, cookie, or query string. API keys can be used to control which applications may access your API, track their usage patterns, or restrict which methods of your API they can use. However, API keys are insufficient for secure authorization. For that, you would also need to implement user authentication. Next question: what is token-based authentication? ASP.NET Web API is a service which can be accessed over the HTTP by any client. So, providing security to the Web API is very important, which can be easily done with the process called token-based authentication. Token-based authentication is a process where the user sends his credential to the server. Server will validate the user details and generate a token which is sent as response to the users, and user store the token in client side, so client do further HTTP call using this token which can be added to the header and server validates the token and send a response. Next question: what is OAuth? OAuth is an open standard for authorization, commonly used as a way for internet users to log into third-party websites using their Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter, OneNetwork etc. accounts without exposing their password. You can implement your own OAuth server. Here I am explaining about social auth, so the term OAuth hereafter refers to social auth with OAuth. In layman's terms, OAuth lets users log into your web service with accounts, Facebook, Google etc. Terminology: client, the user of your API. Resource owner, API server, your API. Authorization server, auth server, Facebook, Google etc. auth server. Authorization grant, the method by which you authorize a user. We are using authorization code here. Authorization code, a code that the auth server returns to the client which can be exchanged for an access token at the API server. Access token, a string that identifies a user, usually comes with an expiry period. Consumer key or APP ID, a public key used by auth server to identify your application. Consumer secret or APPSECRET, a private key which should be kept confidential. The below terms have nothing to do with OAuth but are used with OAuth to make it more secure. Timestamp, a string that tells date and time. Nonce, a number or string which can be used only once. Next question: what are main return types supported in Web API? It does not have any specific data type. It can return data of any type depending upon the business requirement. There are many HTTP methods like GET, POST, PUT, etc., which can return data in different formats depending upon the use case. Next question: what is the difference between HTTP response message and IHTTP action result? In ASP.NET Web API 1, we have a type called HTTP response message for returning HTTP response message from action method. It is easy to use but it requires some extra code on the controller action. In ASP.NET Web API 2, IHTTP action result comes as a new feature which is basically the replacement of HTTP response message. Essentially, it defines an HTTP response message factory by which it reduced code. Advantages of using the IHTTP action result: it simplifies unit testing of controllers. It moves the common logic for creating HTTP responses into separate classes. It makes the controller action method clearer by hiding the low-level details of constructing the response. IHTTP action result contains a single method, executeasync, which asynchronously creates an HTTP response message instance internally. Next question: what is content negotiation in Web API? Content negotiation is the process of selecting the best representation for a given response when there are multiple representations available. Means, depending on the accept header value in the request, the server sends the response. The primary mechanism for content negotiation in HTTP are these request headers minus accept minus which media types are acceptable for the response, such as application JSON, application XML, or a custom media type such as application VND, example plus XML. Accept cassette minus which character sets are acceptable, such as UTF-8 or ISO 8859-1. Accept encoding minus which content encodings are acceptable, such as gzip. Accept language minus the preferred natural language, such as NUS. Next question: what is media type formatter class in Web API? In Web API, media type formatters are classes that are responsible for serialization data. Here, serialization generally means a process of translating data into a format that can be transmitted and reconstructed later. Because of serializing request-response data, Web API can understand request data format in a better way and send data in a format that the client expects. It simply specifies data that is being transferred among client and server in HTTP response or request. Next question: explain Web API routing. Routing is the mechanism of pattern matching as we have in MVC. These routes will get registered in route tables. Below is the sample route in Web API. Next question: what are response codes in Web API? HTTP defines these standard status codes that can be used to convey the results of a client's request. The status codes are divided into 5 categories. 1XX, informational, communicates transfer protocol level information. 2XX, success, indicates that the client's request was accepted successfully. 3XX, redirection, indicates that the client must take some additional action in order to complete their request. 4XX, client error, this category of error status codes points the finger at clients. 5XX, server error, the server takes responsibility for these error status codes. Next question: what are Web API filters? Filters are basically used to add extra logic at different levels of Web API framework request processing. Different types of Web API filters are available as given below. Authentication filter, it handles authentication and authenticates HTTP requests. It also helps to authenticate user detail. It checks the identity of the user. Authorization filter, it handles authorization. It runs before controller action. This filter is used to check whether or not a user is authenticated. If the user is not authenticated, then it returns an HTTP status code 401 without invoking the action. Authorize attribute is a built-in authorization filter provided by Web API. Action filter, it is attributing that one can apply to controller action or entire controller. It is used to add extra logic before or after controller action executes. It is simply a way to add extra functionality to Web API services. Exception filter, it is used to handle exceptions that are unhandled in Web API. It is used whenever controller actions throw an unhandled exception that is not HTTP response exception. It will implement an IException filter interface. Override filter, it is used to exclude specific action methods or controllers from the global filter or controller level filter. It is simply used to modify the behavior of other filters for individual action methods. Next question: who can consume Web API? A large range of clients such as browser, mobile devices, iPhone, etc. include or consume Web API. It is also good for using along native applications that require web services but not SOAP support. It can also be consumed by any client that supports HTTP verbs such as get, delete, post, put. Next question: how to handle errors in Web API? Web API generally provides greater flexibility in terms of handling errors. Exception handling is a technique that is used to handle runtime errors in application code. One can use HTTP response exception, HTTP error, exception filters, register exception filters, exception handlers to handle errors. Exception filter can be used to identify unhandled exceptions on actions or controllers. Exception handlers can be used to identify any type of unhandled exception application-wide, and HTTP response exception can be used when there is the possibility of an exception. Next question: why is the Web API important? Web API is generally considered as a service that basically provides us information or data from the server. It is very important because of the following reasons. It is used to provide an interface for websites and client applications to have access to data. It can also be used to access data from the database and save data back to the database. It supports different text formats such as XML, JSON, etc. It is suitable or compatible with any type of browser and any type of device like mobile, desktop, web, etc. It uses low bandwidth such as XML or JSON data, etc., and is therefore considered good for devices that have limited bandwidth such as smartphones, etc. From a business point of view, Web API is more applicable for UI, UX, increases interest in the company's product and services, and increases website traffic. Thank you for watching our video. I am Sirish Kantamaneni. If you have any questions or doubts on the topic like technology and career guidance, please comment below so we will reply or make a video on it. You are watching